Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of touch-up work on my driveway with the power rake on the skid steer. It has done nothing but rain here for 2 weeks solid. I haven't been able to get basically anything done, but we've got a little break. I think it's going to rain again in another hour or two, but it gives me an opportunity to get out here and patch up some of this issues with the driveway. You can see one right here is a gully that's been washed out. Water comes off the corner of the shop building, runs down the hill right here. I actually set up a drain across the driveway there, so this washes down till it hits my drain, then it runs out where I want it to. But this right here is getting deep enough that it's noticeable to the cars that come in and out here. So first area I'm gonna do is this upper parking area. Then we'll move to the next problem spot. Having put 600 hours on this tractor in the last 2 years, and now running the skid steer a lot, one unexpected benefit is how much easier it is to hook up attachments. So we're getting ready to put a power rake on here. I don't have a power rake for the tractor, but the nearest equivalent is a tiller. If I wanted to put a tiller on here, it's a lot more work to take that backhoe off and put the tiller on. Where, let's say I had a backhoe on the skid loader and wanted to switch to the power rake, dramatically easier. So, I do have a couple things in the way. I've got to move the tractor over to this side of the building, move the bucket, and then I can get to the power rake. I need to build some shelving in here like I have for the tractor so I can get all this stuff stacked vertically and be able to access all of it without moving stuff around. Hydraulic fittings are easier to connect, easier to take off too. There's no PTO shaft. What you have sometimes instead is an electrical connection, which is also really easy to hook up. And that's all there is to it. I know some of you are OCD and are going to freak out about the string that's wrapped around the drum, but it comes off about 10 minutes into working, and I didn't realize it was flopping around like that. Before I get too far into this, I want to jump in and state something that's probably pretty obvious, but most of the time when you see someone doing something and it looks easy, it's really not. And that's the case with running this power rake. It kind of felt like all I would have to do is drop it down and drive forward, and that is what's happening, but there's a skill to it, just like anything else. And there's a lot of variables, including how hard you're pushing down, the angle of the rake, how fast you're going, what type of material you're in, going backward or forward, because those two things are quite different. And then you've got to factor in the fact that the machine does not sit flat and level while you work. Every time your tracks go over a bump, it moves the boom up and down. I actually went back and forth across this driveway more times than I needed to today because I was experimenting with technique and trying to get better at it. And these first few passes, I really felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but by the end of the day, I was starting to get a feel for it. All my regular viewers know that I'm just getting the hang of this machine. First time ever trying the power rake on rock. Only used it on dirt twice. And so there's a learning curve to everything. And where I'm coming up this, there's an elevation change right about here. And then the same thing coming the other direction. So I'm gonna take it now and go down the length of the driveway, because there is a drain line down here, and after I installed that, it kind of sunk in, and so that's like a little speed bump right now. I want to take that out, and then there's some high spots down at the other end of the drain, at the other end of the driveway where I put the second drain in. Before we start running the power rake down here, I want to give you an update on my drainage. So this is not my setup. With this drain line comes and dumps on the driveway, and all just runs across the driveway. Let me turn it here. If you can see right here, there's a steady stream of water running across this, but the rock on the other side is dry. Same thing over here. Normally there's standing water in that whole area, and now there's not. So that drain seems to be working. The only problem is, when I smoothed over this, I left kind of a crown here, so I'd like to push some of that rock that way. The water that normally pools next to the driveway is now down here, so I'll have to grade this out and do something with that at some point too. But for now, the only spot on the driveway that's still catching water is where I'm still planning to put the other drain line. So we're gonna run the power rake the length of the driveway, see if we can smooth some of this out. All right, guys, help me out here. I think this is going pretty well. You might not even show up that much on camera, but I went down that side and I came back on the other, and on the left side, it's leaving that trail there. Is that just normal and I just need to track that little fall off, track that in? Or is there something I need to do different? Everything has a learning curve. I'm gonna run this a little bit more, but it's, even without me knowing what I'm doing, it's doing a good job.
The city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. 'Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race. What's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind, trying to save your time, in case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list. Girl, you can skip this funny business, 'cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated. That's alright by me. I got everything that I need, but there is breakneck, paycheck, rat race. What's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. All my friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cool night. Yeah, you can keep your 9 to 5, 'cause I'm happy with the simple life. Tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knew my name, and all my friends are still the same. I guess the slow.
All right, well, I think that turned out really good. And more than anything, I got what I was here for, which is a couple hours of experience running that Harley Rake. It's gonna take me maybe 50 hours to really get the hang of this, not 2. But I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links over here to more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.